Hey guys, it's Sam, and today I have another book babble for the Booktube SFF Awards. This week we are giving our science fiction and fantasy booktuber recommendations. Now, a lot of these people that I'm going to mention I've talked about before in previous shoutout videos, so I will link all of my shoutout videos down below because I always am talking about people in those shoutout videos and how much I adore them. So I think all these people have popped up on those shoutouts before, but here is a consolidated list of people that are science fiction and fantasy booktubers, not necessarily all science fiction and fantasy. A lot of them have a mix of all different kinds of books, but when I think science fiction and fantasy recommendations, these are the people that come to my mind. The first person is Elizabeth from Books and Pieces, and she is actually a part of the kind of committee or judges or panel that is judging the Booktube SFF Awards, so she is definitely a part of it, but I adore her so much. She is who I go to for science fiction recommendations, so I'm trying really hard to break into sci-fi. I really am, contrary to what it might look like because I read basically all fantasy, but I always trust her opinion. I always am adding things to my wish list as far as science fiction recommendations. She does read fantasy as well, but I always look to her for all these science fiction recommendations. She's amazing, she's eloquent, she's creative, she has some of the most creative videos that I've ever seen, and I love just everything about her. She's a great person that I just want to squish because I love her so much. The next person is Sana from Inkbone's Books. She does a mix of, I would say, mostly fantasy, but she has a lot of other things in there as well. But I trust her recommendations completely. She is one of the people that when I first joined Booktube, I always went to her for fantasy recommendations. And if she likes the book, I'm pretty much guaranteed to like it. We have very similar tastes, so if you enjoy my recommendations, you're probably going to enjoy her recommendations as well. The next person is Mercedes from Mercy's Bookish Musings, and she reads a ton, so she definitely can compare things and say which one is better, and she just has a huge library. She is always buying books. If you enjoy book hauls, you'll definitely enjoy hers, and she reads them. She's a very voracious reader, so I love her recommendations. Even though we don't always agree on books, for example, she hated Uprooted and I loved it, I love watching her reviews because she's very well spoken. She always points out what she does like and what she doesn't like about a book, so you know if you're going to like it yourself, stuff like that, and she always finds really unique reads. Next is Connor, and his channel name is Connor O'Brien, which is his name. It's a running joke kind of in our friend group about the fact that Connor doesn't have an actual channel name. But Connor is definitely the person that I would go to for fantasy, and especially middle grade. He reads a lot of middle grade fiction, and he's definitely a person to go to for any kind of recommendation in either the young adult, or middle grade genre. And again, he's another person that reads a ton. I think his wrap-ups usually have over 20 books in them. The dude's a beast. I don't know how he does it, but if you're looking for middle grade recommendations especially, because I know those are hard to find on Booktube, definitely check him out. Next is Kayla from Bookadoodles, and she's again somebody that when I first joined Booktube, I always looked to her for recommendations. We have very similar taste in books, almost completely the exact same taste in books. I don't think she's read something and liked it and I've hated it at all, ever. So I definitely know that if I enjoy a book, she's going to enjoy a book, and vice versa. She's actually the person that recommended the Girl of Fire and Thorns trilogy to me, and now I can't stop talking about it. She's also really big into graphic novels, so if you enjoy graphic novels and like fantasy-ish graphic novels, I think you'll definitely enjoy checking her out and her channel. Next is the wonderful Adriana from Perpetual Pages, and Adriana definitely reads a mix of everything, but she always finds unique fantasy reads as well. She definitely reads broadly. She reads manga, she reads graphic novels, she reads everything, but I really enjoy her specific fantasy recommendations. She's the first person that I ever heard talk about The Captive Prince by C.S. Pacat, and everyone is talking about that now, but that's a fantasy series that I didn't hear about except for from her for the longest time. So I definitely say that she started the fire on that one, and now everyone's trying to read it and get into it because the series just ended. But I love her recommendations. Again, always finding unique things to read, and I love everything about how she talks about books and how eloquent she is and her reviews and everything. She's lovely. Next is Brock from Let's Read, and I would also classify him as more of a science fiction person, although he reads both science fiction and fantasy. I love his videos. He definitely keeps things short and to the point, and definitely very eloquent, but again, short, to the point, doesn't need to be long videos. He's really busy right now because he just had a baby within the last year, so he doesn't make videos a ton, but when he does make videos, I'm always sure to click on them. They always bring a smile to my face. He's so funny, and I just love his recommendations because, again, they're things that I would have not picked up on my own. And lastly, we have Sarah Jane from The Book Life. As many of you guys may know, Sarah Jane is one of my best friends here on Booktube, and she's definitely somebody I think of when I think of any kind of book recommendation. Again, we have very similar tastes, but specifically as far as fantasy, I think that she recommends the most urban fantasy, and she has a lot of series within the urban fantasy genre like Stray by Rachel Vincent, which I started, and I also need to read the Fever series because of her, which is the Fever series by Karen Marie Moning. I don't know exactly how to say her name, but again, those are series that I heard of from Sarah Jane first. So she's the person I definitely think of when I think of urban paranormal fantasy. Alright guys, that was very quick and to the point, but again, everyone will be linked down below, and all of my old shoutout videos will be linked down below as well because I gush about everybody in there a lot more, but comment down below and let me know some of your favorite science fiction and fantasy booktubers. So thank you all for watching, I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!